Hello, this is a Geek Must Have. What can we do with these? Well, let's tear them apart and find out what's inside them. And I have a question. What do these drives, 30 gigabytes, 80 gigabytes, 40 gigabytes, and another whopping 80 gigabytes have in common with this USB drive? This is a 256 gigabyte thumb drive, and it has more storage capacity than all four of these drives combined. Let's tear these drives apart and see what we can get. Most hard drives are held together with a bunch of little screws. We zoom in on these. You can see that they're these little star-like patterns. Security screws, some of them are called. Which means we'll have to break out from our security kit here of bits one that fits in here, or at least is close. Somewhere in here is a hidden screw, usually under a sticker. There's the hidden screw. It's usually under a sticker. My life for spudger. Metal one. Usually these pop apart pretty easily, unless you've missed another one of the hidden screws that are out there. Which I'm beginning to think I have. Yep. Another hidden one. And there's the inside of a hard drive. Little spinny disc that goes around, and an arm that goes back and forth with an actuator motor to read the data off of these discs. And this drive's got 3 discs in there. The discs are shiny. Oh. And there's a little bearing here. And we're not going to be able to get these platters out without... oh no, I nicked it. There's a nick there. Never get that data off. We need to remove this head in order to get these platters off. And one of the ways to do that is to pry up this corner and get out this permanent magnet that's here. Now, this is a very large neodymium magnet. very powerful. Sometimes these are epoxied onto this plate, and sometimes they're just set in there. They're a lot easier to use when they're just set in there, because if they're epoxy, they're not coming off. So, a couple more screws. Well, looks like I have to remove that piece as well. And now, yay! A ring. One disc full of vital information. I got my fingerprints all over it now. Second one. In a ring. These little rings come in handy as for bushing sometimes for projects that have bearings that the hole's too big. Oh, got blood on this project. That means it's a project. You got blood. And this last one. There are the 3 platters, nice and shiny. Here is the head that moves back and forth. We kind of loosened that up before. And there really isn't much salvageable in here. Nice coil of wire, but it's all epoxied in. Oh, and my read-write heads. Oh no. So this is a brushless motor. And that's another neodymium magnet. Flip it over. Big circuit board. Kind of looks like the motor's been press fit into there. There are people who say that this aluminum has scrap value to it. So you could toss it off to the side, and if you had a couple hundred of them, you might get $4 in scrap. Real old style drive. The connector here. Can't remember what type of connector that is. I'll put a note down here to indicate what it is. Here's our second candidate for disassembly. And it is a Seagate drive with some rubber booty stuff on it, which that'll come off pretty easily. Oh. It's a condom for a hard drive. All right. Oh, it looks like it's taped around the whole perimeter. See the band of tape? Goes all the way around. and not much different than the other drive. Nice solid piece of, and that's hefty. I wonder how thick that is. Like 2 mil thick steel. I think the cover's even thicker. Thicker is 2 laminated pieces, so that's like 4 millimeters of steel. There's this kind of silverized plate that's on top. Of course, it's epoxy. So, there's one. And the neodymium magnets are held in place with more screws. Well, there's no neodymium magnet on there, but there seems to be a huge one. Real beefy single magnet. Most of the drives I run into only have, or they have 2 magnets, usually one on top and one on bottom. There we go. And this 80 gigabyte drive has only got 2 platters in it. I think the other one had 3. All right. This whole magnet assembly should just come right out, and there it did. That's one honking magnet. That's a big neodymium. If you look at this one here, size-wise, next to these, looks like it's about twice as thick. Oh, it looks like about twice as thick as that one. Same basic kind of circular shape. Almost all the time they either epoxy or heat or spot weld these. Probably just epoxy, because any form of heat actually reduces the amount of magnetism, and they want to keep these as strong as possible. They certainly are odd looking. Oh, there's another one. The question is nope. And the motor is salvageable on this one. It's a motor with the mount. That's nice. And the connectors that you need. It's a 6-watt brushless high precision motor. Brushless motors require different methods of hooking up than just hooking 2 wires, and you can usually tell because there's 3 wires here. Oh, 3 wires. And my memories come back to me because this little sticker right here that says SATA. So these are SATA 2 drives, and this is a drive from an unknown manufacturer. I think it's got, if I remember correctly here, used to be a company in Buffalo, New York called Black Cat. Yep, that's a Black Cat label. So this is a very old drive. They used to be, Black Cat and Buffalo used to sell parts and you'd build your own computers. And aluminum screws. Still doesn't give me a clue as to how to get this cover off. Oh, there's the clue. Yeah, and now the cover comes right off. There we go. This magnet's got little doohickeys on here, little pins stuck on them. Make them kind of tough to use as a magnet. So just bust them off. And I can see that this one looks like it's been epoxied in place just like the rest of them. Okay. And remember I said that this is a 40 gigabyte drive and it should have one platter? Well, it has 4 platters. And it looks like this motor is also on a motor mount plate. And here's another motor assembly. 3 connectors, brushless motor. And the last candidate for today's teardown is this Barracuda drive. This is an 80 gigabyte Seagate drive. They're pretty good technology-wise. Maybe not. Maybe just one. Right? So this is an 80 gigabyte drive, so it should have That last one had 4 in it. This should have 8. Now, this one's got 1. Shows you how technology changes over time. The amount of platters it took to save 80 gigabytes changed over time. Sometimes it took 4 platters, sometimes it took 2, and now we're down to a drive where it only took 1. So the spacers and stuff are gone. And here's the technology that Seagate have. They have a way of locking the heads into place. So well, as the technology changed, the magnets got smaller. Here's a, we get it apart. Here's a magnet from one of the other drives, and there's the new technology magnet. They needed less neodymium in order to make the drives. One of the reasons for tearing apart an old drive, I guess, then, is to get big neodymium magnets. So I got a screw there. And another neodymium magnet. And another brushless motor. So this is the booty from 4 SATA drives disassembled. Got 9 very shiny discs. Got a bunch of neodymium magnets that I find out that when you clank them together real hard, sometimes they shake loose this glue that they put down. And 3 brushless high-speed motors. And a handful of little aluminum washers and doodads, and a bunch of aluminum screws. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, then please click on the thumbs up. And if you would like me to test these motors and figure out how they work, let me know by putting a comment in the comment section below. And subscribe to my channel. Everyone who subscribes makes me smile. Have a good one.